Wife secretly messaged her ex while I worked night shifts, and what she was really planning overshadowed everything. I drive a long-haul route 4 nights a week, which means for 4 nights a week I am not home, and my wife Sabine runs the house and our 2 girls entirely alone. I trusted her completely. So when I came off a run early one Tuesday and saw her phone light up on the counter with a name I hadn't heard in years, her ex, Roderick, my first thought wasn't even jealousy. It was confusion. She'd told me years ago that Roderick was a closed door, a bad chapter, someone she never once thought about anymore. And here was his name at 2 a.m. And here were, I could see before the screen dimmed, a whole lot of messages between the two of them. I didn't grab the phone. I want to say that plainly, because the easy version of this story is a jealous husband snooping, and that's simply not what happened here at all. I put my bag down, and I said nothing, and I watched my wife for a week, and what I saw didn't look like an affair. It looked like fear. She was jumpy. She flinched at the door. She'd started keeping a packed bag in the trunk of her car, which I found by accident, and inside it were the girls' birth certificates and passports and a folder of documents. I've been married 11 years. A woman planning to run to a lover doesn't pack her children's passports and look terrified. Something else was happening, and I was reading it wrong, and I nearly wrecked everything by assuming the worst of her. So instead of accusing her, I did the hardest thing, which was to sit her down on a night I was supposed to be on the road and tell her I'd seen Roderick's name and that I wasn't angry. I was scared for her, and I asked her to just tell me the whole truth. She broke down. It came out in pieces. Roderick had found her online 8 months ago. He had not come back as an ex. He had come back as a threat. He'd been messaging her, escalating, telling her he knew our address, knew the girls' school, knew my schedule, when I was on the road and when I wasn't. He'd been documenting our lives, and he'd been demanding money to leave us alone. And Sabine, terrified and ashamed and certain I'd blow up if I knew, had been quietly paying him out of her own account and talking him down message by message on the nights I was gone, trying to manage a stalker alone so it never touched the girls. The packed bag was an escape plan. She wasn't planning to leave me. She was planning to save our daughters if he showed up while I was 3 states away. What overshadowed everything wasn't a betrayal. It was that my wife had been carrying a genuine threat by herself for 8 months because she didn't trust me to help instead of explode. And that was a thing about our marriage I had to sit with quietly for a long while afterward. That one landed hard. I did not go find Roderick, which is what every cell in my body wanted. I did the thing that actually works. We sat at the table together and we built the file. Every message he'd sent, screenshotted and dated, 8 months of escalation. The payment records from her account, each one a documented demand. The messages where he named our address and the girl's school, which is the part that turns a creep into a case. Then we took all of it to the police, together and to a lawyer, and we filed for a protective order with a stack of evidence so complete the judge granted it the very same day. Because Sabine hadn't just been surviving him, she'd been unknowingly building the record that would end him. Every screenshot a brick. Roderick had a history, it turned out. 2 other women, the same pattern, but neither had kept the receipts the way my wife had. Ours was the file that stuck. He's facing charges in our county now, stalking and extortion, and the protective order has teeth, and the packed bag is unpacked because we no longer need it by the door. The thing I keep thinking about is how close I came to reading it as an affair and detonating my own marriage over a name on a screen. The truth was the opposite of betrayal. It was my wife, alone, at 2 a.m., 4 nights a week, standing between our daughters and a man I didn't even know to fear. I've asked for a local route and gotten it. I'm home nights now. The folder is in a fireproof box, and Sabine and I both have a key, and the girls sleep down the hall with the door open, and I get up sometimes just to stand in it and listen to them breathe.